my name is Catalina Soto, and my presentation today is the cost of employee turnover. The cost of employee turnover is the number of employees hired to replace those who have left or were fired during a 12-month period. Turnover is a challenge, and it varies between organizations such as health, finance, and retail. Although turnover is a challenge, many companies are not measuring employee separations. Because we do have more millennials in the workforce, I thought that this study done in 2019 was important. Millennial turnover costs the U.S. economy $30.5 billion annually. To the right, we have some more statistics that I thought were interesting just to get the ball rolling and understanding how turnover is affecting. Let's see, so 51% of employees are considering a new job. 50 to 60% of employees' annual salary is direct cost of replacing an employee. We have 87% of employees say that improving retention is a critical priority of their organization. And then we have 25% of new employees leave within the first year. 69% of employees are more likely to stay with the company if they experience good onboarding. And last but not least, we have 72% of candidates change jobs because of their career advancement opportunities. So turnover costs. When calculating turnover costs, these four factors are something that I found important. Of course, productivity, the loss of productivity of employees resigning or being terminated is a direct cost. Staffing when recruiting and advertising expenses, searching fees, HR interviews, and staff time is something that is considered into the turnover cost. And we have vacancy, the temporary help and the existing employee overtime. And training, we have employee time and materials. One thing that I do like to emphasize on is productivity. I believe that this is something that's the main cost of turnover because of job dissatisfaction, low levels of work commitment, work-life conflict, and decreasing justice is something that affects turnover. And of course, unfortunately, there are some more indirect costs of turnover. To name a few, we have overburdened employees, inefficiency of departing employees, and persons hired are hard to qualify. Now, when measuring employee turnover, I do have a list here that would kind of help condense how to measure employee turnover. We can start measuring by the job level, department, unit, and location, the reasons for leaving, the length of service, demographic characteristics, education and training, knowledge, skills, and abilities, and performing ratings. So over here, I have a formula that I was able to gather from the internet. It's similar to the one that we have in our textbook, but I thought this was really neat because it kind of points out exactly how it's breaking it down. But to just go over the main part, turnover rate equals the number of employees leaving divided by the average number of employees at the beginning and employees at the end. Now, reducing turnover. I believe that there's two main ways that we can reduce turnover. One is with the existing employees that we have in our office or when hiring new employees. So, of course, when we should evaluate high-risk factors, as well as employee relationships to avoid any employees wanting to leave or loss of productivity. And of course, with the hiring process, a better selection of employees when they're being hired, and finding that someone that actually fits the company and their motivational fit is perfect. And that does conclude my presentation. Any questions?